Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great weekend. I am here to do the 26 random questions tag created by David Murphy. I was tagged by Vin over at Revenant Reads. I really enjoyed his answers and I'm here to finally share with you some of mine. Um, I really like the prompts, I'll start out by saying that. But I tend to be a very private person and I don't like to share too much about myself. So I will share with you in as much as I'm comfortable with, but I hope you enjoy these answers nonetheless. And I also just wanted to say I recently just got back from the States. I went home to see family for the first time in over 2 years because of the pandemic. So I haven't filmed much recently, but when I ever really recently? Apologies for that. But I just wanted to say I will be doing more videos in the very near future. But anyways, I'm rambling and I do have to be somewhere in the next 30 minutes, so this is going to be a quick one as well. um, so the first question is, what is your most recent YouTube rabbit hole? So this, I don't know how and I don't know why, but I've recently have been recommended Chinese television shows like historical romance on YouTube. So I've been watching a lot of those clips and I really enjoy them. There's this one show called Stand By Me, which is relatively, not relatively, is really enjoyable. So I've been watching a lot of those clips. But again, I have no idea why they've been recommended to me, but I guess I'm glad that I have. Anyways, what's a song that's stuck in your head? And this is Don't You Forget About Me by Simple Minds. Um, I think I've heard it in a couple of different places recently, maybe on a New Year's countdown earlier this month, and then when we were in Houston, my husband and I went out with family, and I think it was playing there. So I've heard it a lot recently in different independent places, so that is stuck in my head. Not that I mind. Number three, what do you listen to the most? So there's not one specific genre. What I listen to and when I listen to it largely depends on my mood and the season. So in the winter, I listen to a lot of classical music. In the summer, I listen to a lot of country and a lot of rock. Um, but I mean, I enjoy lots of different genres like Motown. I really like CCR, Red Hot Chili Peppers, The Doors, Bruce Springsteen. This morning I was listening to the Last of the Mohican soundtrack while I was doing chores, just because I really like soundtracks. So yeah. Number four, what is something you need to be better at or get better at? So this would be lots. I'm not very good at self-improvement in terms of sticking with it. But I need to be better with setting long-term goals and having achievable targets within. And that leads nicely into the next question, which is, do you set goals and what are your goals for the end of the year and next year? So I do set goals, but as I mentioned, I need to be better about getting from point A to B. For the end of the year, my husband and I are, or probably beginning of next year, want to buy our first house. So that's on the horizon. And then this isn't a part of the question, but my 5-year plan as a minimum is getting my PhD. So yeah, those are some goals. And then in terms of booktube, I'm pretty unapologetic about the fact that this is a hobby for me. And when I do tend to set goals and strict goals, or at least strict targets, then it doesn't become enjoyable for me. But in terms of booktube this year, I do want to share more archaeology videos and do more book reviews on archaeology related books. So that's the plan for this year. So number six, when was the last time you lost your temper? So I tend to be a bit of a hothead. My husband really knows how to push my buttons. I don't lose my temper with my staff at work, but I think I do tend to get annoyed and lose my patience a lot. I think the last time I truly lost my temper was probably a good couple of months ago, and we won't go into the details of that. But yeah. Anyways. Number seven, do you swear too much? In my personal life, yes. I think it's a lot more commonplace here in England to swear than as opposed to in the States. In my professional realm, I don't think it's professional. But yeah, I think I have become accustomed to swearing a bit too much over here. Number 8, do you spend too much money on shoes? Once upon a time, definitely. I used to spend a lot of money on shoes and take care of my appearance, but priorities change. I hardly ever spend money on clothes or shoes anymore. Um, I think the last time I bought a pair of shoes was for a wedding recently, and that's because I had no shoes to go with it. And I was actually kind of resentful of the fact that I had to spend money on shoes. But yeah, as I say, priorities change. Number 9, what was the worst book you ever read? This is probably something that I read free on Amazon, about the influence and expansion of Islam into Europe. Um, the timeline itself wasn't particularly bad. It was just the fact that there was overtly xenophobic and racial tones to it that just made it a terrible read. I don't remember the author, and even if I did, I probably wouldn't mention it because bashing people isn't really my style. But it was not a good book. Number 10, are you a homebody or adventurous? Before the pandemic, I was definitely more adventurous than I am now. I like to do a lot of water sports and hiking, and going out and doing things. But the pandemic has affected everyone in terms of their behaviors and, lifestyle patterns. And I definitely say, I have no problem being a homebody. I'm quite introverted. I don't mind spending time with myself, and I do like to read and do things at home. Number 11, do you take naps? Yes, definitely during the weekends I will take naps, not during the week when I'm working, but I do think that they're beneficial for your mental and physical health. Um, and I don't have kids, so it's easy enough for me to do it. But yeah, I have been known to take the odd afternoon snooze. Um, Number 12, have you ever been to Minnesota, the greatest state in the Union? No, I have not had the pleasure. I was born in Michigan, and that's probably the closest I've ever been to Minnesota. Doesn't mean I never want to go. I don't know when I'll ever have the chance to, but I wouldn't mind to if I did have the opportunity. Fargo is my favorite television show and probably one of my favorite movies. And while obviously that's not representative of Minnesota culture or lifestyle, I just kind of want to go to those places just because those series and movies are so enjoyable to me. Number 13, have you ever tried to emulate someone? No, I don't necessarily emulating someone is a good idea. I just want to be me, but I have, of course, been inspired by other people to do things differently. Um, Number 14, what's the worst food you've ever eaten? That Right, so I don't like to complain about free food. Well, I wouldn't necessarily call it free because it comes with the price of the ticket, but um, this would be on an Aer Lingus flight home a couple of weeks back. Um, I had some sort of beef mince. It tasted like dog food, and there was definitely non-human hair in it. It was just the worst thing I've ever eaten, and I don't like to complain about for food, especially if you're given something, just eat it. But that was truly horrendous. Ugh. Um, Anyways, number 15, do you enjoy bars? What kind, and are you a regular at one? So yeah, I do like bars. I like bars that have activities like darts, pool, billiards, but I probably prefer just pubs where you can sit, eat, and have a good conversation. Um, I think pub culture is more of a thing over here in England than it is in the States, but they have what's called your local. So my husband and I do have a local that we go to where we can just chill out and unwind. Even if we don't necessarily have a drink, we can just play chess there or have a conversation, and it's just a place to get out and watch football. Not American football, but world football. um, So number 16, have you ever been hungover? And the answer is yes. The worst hangover I've had recently, as in the past couple of years, was last weekend. As I mentioned, we were visiting family, and we went to Houston to see some of my extended family who I haven't seen in years. And we all went out, and we were going to the Space Center the next day. And I was just in a real rough state in the morning. Um, I won't I'll spare you the details, but it was pretty grim. Yeah, every hangover symptom that you can think of, I had it. It was, now that I look back on it, it's somewhat comical. Um, and I'm not going to share the details, but yeah, I was in quite a state. But I was very proud of myself that I actually went to the Space Center that day and didn't waste my day because it was truly a bad hangover. Um, Number 17, have you ever laughed out loud reading? Yes, yesterday when I was reading something ridiculous on the news. And then recently I finished a book called 1415, Henry V's Year of Glory by Ian Mortimer. And while I, it, this just demonstrates my particular sense of humor, but in the book, Mortimer talks about how Lord Scrope was executed by Henry V by beheading, and he made the comment that medieval people weren't so sophisticated in that they, you know, because they executed by hanging, drawing, torturing, quartering, and all that. But it was just funny the way he said, while they did do that, they were sophisticated enough to draw up 8 different permits so that the head could be carried through the different counties in England. Um, so I'm not very good at relaying things in a very comical way, but to me, that just made me laugh out loud. Anyways, number 19. What's the last movie that you watched? That would be Don't Look Up, with Leonardo DiCaprio, Timothy Chalamet, Jennifer Lawrence. I thought that was hilarious. It was such a good film. Not good for the anxiety, but a very good and funny film. Number 20. This is a personal question, but I'll share with you anyways. Do you want kids? Wish you had kids? And do you have any advice if you do have kids? So I never used to want kids. I just never really knew how to interact with them. Not that I never had I ever had a problem with kids. I do like them. It's just that I talk to them like they're little adults. I had, I was much better with animals and, had more of a maternal instinct when it came to animals. But, I'm of that age where if I do want kids, it's pretty much now or never. And my husband and I have been having that conversation. But that's pretty much all I'm prepared to discuss at this minute on that topic. So the next question is, do you get along with your siblings? Yes, I do. I have 3 siblings. I have an identical twin sister, an older sister, and an older brother. I talk to my twin sister pretty much every day when we're in close space together, or when we used to be. We live in separate continents now. We used to bicker a lot, but I think that comes with a territory of being a twin, or even a sibling. But we do have a great relationship. I have a great relationship with my older siblings as well. So yeah. Number 22. What is a book you have serious issues with but love? Okay, so this would probably be the Mark of the Lion series. There's a lot of problematic tropes in that. It's a Christian literature series. I personally love it because I think it has a great storyline. It takes place in ancient Rome and follows the lives of, 2 different patricians, a Jewish slave, or a Christian with Jewish heritage, and a gladiator. But I think some of the problematic tropes are, the negative views that Christianity has on same-sex couples, or same-sex and gay people, and then just other problematic themes that I won't go into. But yeah, I would probably say that series for those reasons. Number 23, what's your favorite theme song to a movie or TV show? And this would be His Dark Materials. I love the theme song to that. Um, I can't remember what channel it's on. I think it's on either More 4 or the BBC here in England. I don't know what it's on in the States, but it's his Dark Materials with James McAvoy, um, Ruth something or another. Anyways, I should have come more prepared to discuss this, but it's it's a good show and has a great music, great theme song. So yeah, check it out. Number 24. Do you like your job? If you switched careers, what would you do? I like my job. I like my team. I like my boss. I like what I do enough. I'm not prepared to discuss what I do for work privacy reasons, or where I work. I guess I can say I work in healthcare, but that's all I'm prepared to say. But if I did switch careers, I it would be to pursue my PhD in archaeology, because I've always wanted to teach at the university level. But yeah, I like my job at the minute. Number 25. What is something that you love about the city you live in? I think I might have let slip where I live in another video, but I'm not terribly comfortable saying that for privacy reasons. Um, this will probably be a dead giveaway though, but I like the fact that where I live is the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution, and there's a lot of history here, a lot of influential history. Obviously, the Industrial Revolution has, improved the quality of living for a lot of people, but, there's always a downside to everything. And of course, that means that climate change is a huge issue. And number 26, sorry, that's my husband. The last question. And it's very appropriate that he would walk out when with this question, but the question is, who's your celebrity crush? And that would be Liam Hemsworth. Um, he is a very good looking individual. But anyways, those are all the questions. I hope you enjoyed my answers. Apologies if I was still a bit reserved in my answers, but that's all I'm prepared to share. I thought the questions were great nonetheless. And yeah, thanks Finn again for tagging me. Anyways, I will be doing more videos, as I mentioned. I've got a collection of archaeology related books that I can't wait to share with everyone and do some book reviews on them. So anyways, have a great weekend everyone, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.